But I have guests who come in for whether it be non-surgical hair replacement or hair rejuvenation services, and they tell me their story. They tell me the journey that they went on, right? And a lot of the time, it will have a doctor or dermatologist involved. Okay, and that is they and I have that is a wonderful thing. Seeking assistance is a wonderful thing. But the story normally goes very similar. The story will be they went to the dermatologist, and the dermatologist referred them something antifungal. That's one. Or they refer them some type of ointment or cream to use, or maybe even injections. I've had clients who've had PRP, I've had clients who've had steroid injections, I've had clients who have a lot of different treatments for hair fall, thinning hair, different things, right? And of course, with certain types of hair conditions, you know pretty much the symptoms and where it's going to go for the most part, but a lot of the times they will require a biopsy and different things of that nature. Okay, so here we go. So they will have these services and they will have these treatments, and then they'll say, I was doing it for about a month and I didn't notice anything. That's one. Or they'll say, I was doing it for about 2 months and I noticed a difference, but not really, right? So here's the deal. Okay. Non-surgical hair restoration is going to bring about incremental changes. That is the one thing that is the most difficult part about hair rejuvenation. It's going to bring about incremental changes, meaning you're not going to see it automatically. One of the reasons that you go to a trichologist or you'll go to a hair loss practitioner or you go to Plentiful Hair Studio is when you do your hair rejuvenation services. You can, when you come in for your appointments, we use the scope to see and compare your previous pictures so you can tell incrementally if there are changes. Now, steady incremental changes will of course lead to a big change. That is how hair loss works. That is how hair restoration works. You didn't lose all your hair in one day. It came out slowly, and it was coming out more than you noticed. But you noticed when it got to be a lot of hair loss. So it's the same thing with hair rejuvenation services and hair restoration services. If you're not looking at the results microscopically, you're not going to see anything, and it is discouraging, right? That doesn't mean it didn't work. I am not knocking whatever you've done. I do know that a lot of the treatments that you get might not work because there are underlying conditions that are causing you to have hair loss. And if you don't address those effects, so I do know that. However, you don't know if it didn't work because there's no way for you to monitor it. You look at yourself in the mirror every day. You're not going to notice if you have more hair. You're only going to notice when you have significantly more hair. The same way you notice when you have significantly more loss. So that's the thing. I think a lot of people feel like it doesn't work or didn't work or because of that. You have to see a hair loss specialist to monitor. So for example, let's say you decide, I'm not going to a hair loss specialist. I'm not going to a trichologist. I'm going to my dermatologist, and my dermatologist is going to give me these injections, or my dermatologist is going to put me on this whatever. You're still not going to know if it's going to work unless you go in and have it scoped. So you still should do that, at least at a bare minimum. We do everything holistically. I don't like the idea of pharmaceuticals and all that stuff like that with hair restoration because you don't know the long-term effects of anything. You know, the news will tell you every day, eat a banana, eat a banana, eat a banana, eat a banana. And then 6 months from now, they'll say what bananas do to you. So I'm just saying, you just don't, you can't trust everything. So for me, holistically, trying to do everything holistically was the best way for me to help my guests who experience hair fall. And if you decide not to go that way, fine, I accept that. But you have to monitor it appropriately so that you can have a really, really true measure of your results.